Okay, if you give it to the Rules Committee, they'll have to act on it. What? Okay. Yeah, if it has rules on it, then yeah. If you wanted a motion to bring it up, then when do I get to call to order?
Yeah, you're good. Patrice, it's 131, right?
So, he's never been what? Good for him. Nick.
Theo, will you just check the mic really fast?
Yeah, I've already done that.
I know, but for this.
Sure.
That's good.
Okay.
I need to move Catrice's over, and I knew we did the shortcut, but
In fact, we shouldn't need a shortcut for this one.
Yep.
Instead, take that one and drag it into House Rules Committee.
okay. Like that.
Yeah, but just missed. It's got to be on that.
Okay.
There. Yeah. Now it should be there.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get started here.
Clerk, go deliver to Catrice.
Before you, does anybody have any questions? Okay, as for debate of bills
Good.
today, any of them can come up. I think you have two that are tabled. And I think those bills right now, I believe the authors of those bills are kind of looking at them. Okay.
Yes.
So anything can be untabled at this point. Realize that one bill only has like 30 seconds of debate left on it. So also Bill 131, which is Catrice's bill, she did the discharge petition. It is now up for debate. It can be debated today as well. So any of them are fairly.
Okay. Am I good?
If you need copies of Harley Pro, they're on either motion. Okay? Yep. Okay, Theo, whenever you're ready.
Will the House of Representatives please come to order? The House recognizes Representative Slight.
I make a motion to begin a debate on HR number 145.
It's been motioned and seconded that the House debate HR 145. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. We will now begin debate on HR 145.
Dash, we're debating. We need time.
Okay, give me just a second. What's the,
15 minutes total time, 3 minutes per speaker.
15 total, 3 per?
Yep.
The chair recognizes Representative Francis. There's one right there. Representative Francis, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker French. Today I will be talking about Bill 145, the title of which is No Shirt, No Shoes, No Service. First, I would like to ask you all to try to imagine that you've had a very long, hard, super hard, long day, and it's only 12 o'clock. Now try to imagine you're having that very hard day and you're wearing shoes that are too small, rubbing against your ankles and squishing your toes. You're pretty sure that you're even losing blood flow to your feet. Now that you're all picturing yourself wearing these shoes, you really just want to get them off, right? Maybe even for just 30 minutes. But you can't, because Bill 145 has been enacted. I know many of you can sympathize with this situation, especially all of us who have worn high heels before. But let's be real. A lot of people think feet are gross because they touch the ground or look gross or something. But the truth is, there are between 2 to 10 million bacteria on your fingertips and elbows. And according to the National Institute of Health, there are over 6 billion bacteria in your mouth. Your feet have far fewer bacteria than your hands, because for a majority of the time, they are covered with shoes or socks. So why should we have a problem with people not wearing shoes? It was brought up in the bill that many people eat in the hallways of Compass. But should you really be eating on the floor if you're afraid of germs? Because I can guarantee you there are more germs on the bottom of shoes and on the tables of the cafeteria than on anyone's feet. I also understand that it's unprofessional to have shoes off in a class, and I completely agree. But if you're just in the cyber cafe where you are trying to get the best work done possible, I think it's only fair to be allowed to take your shoes off. Another point I would like to make is that there's no official dress code policy of Compass Academy. This should apply to shoes. 2 of the pillars of Compass are respect and responsibility. I would hope people would be responsible enough to wear shoes when appropriate and respect other people's personal areas. Therefore, I suggest we follow the last pillar of Compass and trust the students to know when they can take their own shoes off. Thank you. I reserve the remainder of my time.
The chair recognizes Representative Slight.
Permission to take the floor?
Granted.
You had 40 something seconds left? 41. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
can you just give me 1 second?
You got it.
Go ahead.
Monday morning, many of you may have noticed a student without shoes on. Many students had adverse opinions of this student's decision, while others felt it was a revolution. Our current dress code is a simple phrase, dress for the occasion. Arguably, the student was dressed for the occasion. Nothing he was participating in demanded the use of shoes. Nothing but his peers. An uproar and a buzz arose in the school. Clearly, the student's lack of footwear was a distraction. Eventually, Mrs. Booth asked the student to cover his feet with socks, not shoes, but socks. I strongly believe that we should ask all students to wear footwear, the same as this particular student. I can only imagine the uproar that would occur should I myself remove my shoes. My freakish toe with an extra joint pointing in the wrong direction would surely be a distraction to most of my peers. And of course, to myself, I'd be rather self-conscious. Don't ask me to reveal that. However, every classroom would be wildly distracted and would learn nothing from my feet, with maybe the exception of the anatomy and physiology class. However, this entire school is not an anatomy and physiology class. It's only a distraction, not a learning opportunity. So for the sake of our students, we must pass and enforce this bill. The students that found the lack of shoes to be a revolution will only be inspired to remove their own shoes. We must put a stop to the upcoming revolution now. Health concerns should not be left unsaid either. The cafeteria requires students to wear shoes for health reasons. You can't eat and have shoes off in the same area, but we eat everywhere in the school, at least on tile. So we need to enforce that rule everywhere. Of course, in the event of a fire drill, students would be rapidly forced into the cold with no protection. Another health concern. And athlete's foot and other diseases could spread from student to student. We're already dealing with one pandemic. Why would we risk another? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve the remainder of my time.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Okay. The chair would like to recognize Senator Jones to speak on the bill. The chair would like to recognize Representative Stirk to speak on the bill. Already granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be speaking in favor of Bill 145. The bill states that the students of Compass Academy shall wear any form of footwear that prevents the skin on the bottom of the foot from touching the ground. I agree with this bill because, first of all, the floor is walked on by all the students and facilitators during the day, which means the students without shoes are walking on dirty and nasty floors with the chance of having a dangerous or sharp object on it. A student with no shoes could step on said dangerous or sharp object and injure themselves. The students who are allowing their bare feet to be touching and collecting the contaminants off the floor, their feet are dirty now too, which relates to what was written in the bill saying this is a health concern, especially in the having bare feet in the cafeteria where other students eat and socialize. Another reason I support this bill is because if a student is not wearing shoes and has any personal hygiene issues, there's a chance that their feet could have a strong odor or even look gross and take other students' attention off their learning or their task at hand. I yield.
He yielded.
The chair would like to recognize Representative Uhak. Denied. We still have one more speaker. Apologize. The chair would like to recognize Representative Fuerta.
He's absent.
The chair would like to recognize Representative Uhak. Granted.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like Compass has always been the type of school where we try to prepare everyone for the future, right? So everywhere in public is no shirt, no shoes, no service. So why should it be any different here? The shoes are required in the cafeteria due to the health code because we're eating in there. And as Sarah said, students are eating on the floor, so why should they have to wear shoes elsewhere? I've never seen someone eat on the floor in the cafeteria, yet you still have to wear shoes. So, when we're all eating throughout the whole school and there's no shoes, technically that's a health violation, right? I personally just feel like feet are gross, and I know a lot of you agree with that, so I think it's super unsanitary, and I feel like the school will be really nasty if we allow for people to not wear shoes. And there's no other schools in District 91 that allows you to just take your shoes off at will. Thank you for your time, and I reserve the rest of my time.
Thank you.
206.
The chair would like to recognize Representative Mitchell. Granted. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to tell this little story for you guys just so you can get my point of view on this. One day I dropped something on the floor and I went to go and pick it up, and the first thing I saw when I picked up the item was a nasty flip-flop, but there was no feet in it. And I honestly felt the urge to puke everywhere. And so if that we made this so this bill was not passed and I saw feet like that, I could feel like me and not anyone else would feel the need to puke. And feet are just honestly so disgusting. But also, some kids here don't have the hygiene that they need to make sure that everything's good. So some kids don't shower enough or use deodorant. So what makes you think that they're going to wash their feet? So if kids are constantly taking off their shoes, we're just going to be stinking up the school. And I honestly don't want to come into a school where it stinks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve the rest of my time.
Thank you.
214.
The chair would like to recognize Representative Rolston.
I second.
It has been motioned and seconded to bring HR 145 to a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. We will now be voting on HR 145. Representative Bentley? Representative Brown? Representative Browning? Representative Chadwick? Representative Covert? Representative Cox? Representative Finnegan? Representative Fletcher? Representative Francis? Representative French? Aye. Representative Goodwin? Representative Hadlock? Representative Harmon? Representative Hayes? Representative Howard? Representative Huerta? Representative Liliana Jacobson? Representative Catrice Jacobson? Representative Jennings? Representative Jensen? Representative Jones? Representative Kalkworth? Representative Cry? Representative Ladow? Representative Little? Representative Marquette? Representative McNeil? Representative Meekum? Representative Merrill? Representative Mitchell? Representative Nelson? Representative Owlett? Representative Perez? Representative Rolston? Representative Royce? Representative Schoenman? Representative Seabury? Representative Slight? Representative Snyder? Representative Stirk? Representative Sutton? Representative Tapia Griffith? Representative Thompson? Representative Uhak? Representative Whipple? Give me 1 second. HR 145 passes with 32 in favor, 2 against, and 6 abstaining. The chair recognizes Representative Snyder.
Motion to discuss bill number 69.
It has been motioned and seconded that we discuss HR 69, which, by the way, has not been worked on. All in favor? All opposed? Hand count? All in favor? All opposed? It is denied 12 to 15 that we do not discuss this. Thank you. Kansas. The chair recognizes Representative Marquette. It has been motioned and seconded that we discuss House Resolution 201. All in favor? All opposed? It passes. We will begin discussion on HR 201, House Resolution 201. Debate time is 10 minutes total and 2 minutes per speaker. The chair would like to recognize Representative Marquette to speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to preface this by saying that doesn't matter exactly what we vote on. We are getting this class anyways. So just keeping that prefaced. Today I'd like to talk about something that I think my colleagues would think is also important. This resolution allows for the dedication of a calculus class for Compass Academy. This will give more opportunities for students who want more options for their math credit. As many as seniors know, we have to take a math credit. So I'd say that it's pretty important that we, have more than just stats and math in the modern world, and the trigonometry class that, some people have already taken. As it currently stands, before we already got the class, there was only two options. You could go take it at CAI, or you could go to another school. The problem with going to another school is that many of the other schools have other class times, and your schedules may not line up with it. It's a much more difficult process. CAI is, well, it's a college course, so there's a much longer process in order to actually be able to get into the class, and you're also taking it at CAI, so you have the same college, experience of your schedules may not line up, and travel times are annoying. And I'd like to say that this should get passed and, brought to the school board, so that way we can try and get, an actual class, and so that way you can, advance your degrees higher if you're, wanting to do calculus. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair would like to recognize Representative Clockworth to speak on the bill. Granted. Representative Clockworth, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this year, many of us seniors, as my fellow representative mentioned, were unable to take the calculus course that several of us would have liked to take. And this made it very difficult for many of us to advance further in getting college. And so by passing this resolution, we will make it possible to allow lower classmen to take the calculus course, even though we weren't able. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Clockworth. The chair would like to recognize Representative Seabury to speak on the bill. Resolution, sorry. Representative Seabury, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have the opportunity to come together and pass one of the most positively impactful resolutions that Compass Academy Congress has created this year. I cannot read this, okay. Unfortunately, many Compass Academy students are not interested in the currently available math classes offered at Compass Academy, and many Compass Academy upperclassmen agree that there should be the option for a calculus class. The currently available classes are only offered at CEI, IDOA, or another school, which is unavailable to a lot of students due to transportation and scheduling issues. This resolution will solve these issues when it reintroduces a calculus class to Compass Academy, which would be located within the building and be easily accessible to Compass students. This resolution will provide a calculus class. Sorry, I wrote this at like 2 a.m., sorry. This resolution will provide a calculus class at Compass Academy that the students can take, which will assist with college degrees. Having a college prerequisite class available while students are still at Compass Academy will help expedite the process of getting a degree. This will be helpful to students, for example, those wanting to go into fields such as engineering, economics, or computer science. Someone may argue that we should avoid the reinstatement of a calculus course at Compass Academy due to the associated costs, but there's already a budget set aside. With the issue of cost out of the way, I see no reason that the representatives at Compass Academy shouldn't pass this resolution. This resolution would benefit students on either side of the aisle, and I hope that as my fellow representatives, my fellow Compass Academy students, and my fellow Americans that we pass this resolution. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Tapia Griffith. It has been motioned and seconded that we adjourn for a 5-minute caucus. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Can we get a hand count? All in favor? All All opposed? It passes. We will adjourn for a 5-minute caucus.
I'm not kidding. Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Okay. The House of Representatives will now come to order. The chair would like to recognize Representative Whipple. Permission denied. Mrs. Little, you still have to speak on the bill. Granted. Representative Little, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are seniors. We've made it 4 years and are still going strong. We started this in a totally different school than what it is now. Compass has changed for the better, but also for the worse. But right now, you and I can make a difference. We have the power to change this school back to the best it can be. The way to do this is to vote now on Resolution 201. We need to bring the calculus class back, not only to benefit future students, but also the value of our school. In the last few years, Compass Academy hasn't had a calculus class taught by a Compass facilitator. This has resulted in students either having to resort to the local college or a math class that doesn't benefit them. This has been a huge loss for the students of Compass Academy and has degraded the school. As a recent student of pre-calculus, I was often found pondering why I was even in the class if I couldn't excel to the next level. Our competing schools within the district all offer calculus to their students, so why doesn't Compass Academy? Last year, we had a small graduating class that started with about 150 students and ended in 85. As a Compass Academy senior, I have also seen many of my classmates move to different schools throughout the 4 years here. Many of the students moved because of other reasons. Through networking, I have found students transfer to schools within the district because of classes that will benefit them are not offered at Compass Academy, one being calculus. I have the required qualifications for calculus class, but that is a high school level, but to take it at CEI, they base it on test scores, which is not fair to those in the same position as me. So here I am taking a class that doesn't benefit my future, but it is required to graduate. Another major issue with having to take a calculus class elsewhere is transportation. Some students that are qualified to take calculus are unable to attend elsewhere because they don't have a ride or their own transportation. Compass has also often been seen as a college-based school, but how can it be seen that way if students are not provided with the classes they are needed for their degree? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Don't. The chair would like to recognize Representative Brown. Ing? Granted. Representative Browning, you have 2 minutes.
So I was actually just told by another student that a math teacher has already informed a math class that calculus is coming back whether we pass this bill or not. It's already been passed, and they already have almost a set teacher that they're going to bring in for calculus. So there's no reason to pass or deny this bill because it's happening. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The chair recognizes Representative Whipple. Granted. Representative Whipple, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Even if we already have a calculus class within the next year, passing this resolution cements the fact that there is a need for a calculus class. The students feel like they need a calculus class. It only provides more choice for seniors towards the end of their high school year, or their high school adventure, or whatever you want to call it, as to what opportunities they can have post-high school. Whether they want to take calculus or statistics or math in the modern world, whatever it is, more choice only benefits the seniors of Compass Academy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Rolston.
Second.
It has been motioned and seconded that we bring House Resolution 201 to a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We will now begin voting. Representative Bentley. Representative Brown. Representative Browning. Representative Browning. Yes. Representative Chadwick. Aye. Representative Covert. Aye. Representative Cox. Representative Finnegan. Aye. Representative Fletcher. Aye. Representative Francis. Aye. Representative French. Aye. Representative Goodwin. Representative Hadlock. Representative Harmon. Aye. Representative Hayes. Representative Howard? Representative Huerta?
It's a requirement of the district.
Representative Jacobson, Lilly? Representative Catrice? Representative Jennings? Representative Jensen? Representative Jones? Representative Colcore? Representative Cry? Representative Liddell?
Aye.
Representative Little? Representative Markwood? Representative McNeil? Representative Meekum? Representative Merrill? Representative Mitchell? Representative Nelson? Representative Outlet? Representative Perez? Representative Ralston? Representative Royce? Representative Shoneman? Representative Seabury? Representative Slight? Representative Snyder? Representative Stirk? Representative Sutton? Representative Tapia Griffith? Representative Thompson? Representative Uhak? Representative Whipple? The resolution passes unanimously. I don't need to make the gavel. Oh, yes. The chair would like to recognize Representative Ralston. It has been motioned and seconded that we discuss HR 107. All in favor? All opposed? We will be discussing HR 107, the Vending Energy Act of 2020. The debate time is 10 minutes, and every individual has 3 minutes to discuss. The chair would like to recognize Representative Nelson to speak on the bill. 10 minutes, and then three per speaker. Hey, bit of a problem with the rules on this one. There are a total of 4 speakers with a total of 10 minutes for each. That adds up to 12. Okay. Representative Nelson, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To insert alternative drinks in the vending machines, such as energy drinks and bottled smoothies, a few main reasons to reject this bill are first, plausibility and cost effectiveness. First is plausibility. Though it seems like a good idea to broaden the selection of drinks available, it becomes an issue when trying to actually implement the bill. There are a few things that need to be addressed or amended before the bill can be fully effective. Ultimately, the bill needs to establish an ongoing funding to restock and keep the vending machine working. Though the bill calls for fundraising, it doesn't take into account the fact that the money must be continuously poured into this bill to keep it running. A one-time money allocation will not cover the ongoing expenses of inventory in the machine itself. Secondly is cost effectiveness. As Compass is an open campus high school, the drinks in the vending machine must be put under market value, or the high school students would simply go to the store and buy a drink for a cheaper cost. You can buy a 20-ounce bottle of Dr. Pepper for $1.89 compared to a 16-ounce of Palm Juice at $3.48. At almost double the cost of regular drinks supplied in the vending machine, Compass would either have to jack up the prices on drinks or lose money in the process, leading to a lack of funds to restock the machine eventually. And more common that not most high school kids tend to lean towards the more unhealthier drinks like sodas. In the end, we must reject the bill because there is not continuous money flow to keep the bill intact, and overall is not cost effective for the prices of healthier drinks, and the vending machine will not create enough revenue to compete with the market prices. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve my time.
Thank you. Minute 22. What resolution? The chair would like to recognize Representative Covert to speak on the bill. The chair would like to recognize Representative Howard to speak on the bill. Representative Howard, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I stand in firm affirmation of the bill to implement broader options in the vending machines of Compass Academy. This bill addresses a key issue in schools today that is one offering healthier alternatives to students. There are a few main reasons to affirm this bill. First is the obesity crisis in America, and the second is the benefits of the variety options. Thirdly is cost effectiveness. Life Sciences' recent study examines the link between unhealthy vending machines and chronic health conditions. They find that school children who consume unhealthy food and drinks purchased in vending machines take in more calories and fewer essential vitamins and minerals. As well as researcher Madhuri Kakarala of the University of Michigan Medical School states, consumption of vended foods and beverages currently offered in U.S. schools are detrimental to children's diet's quality. If kept up, poor dietary choices such as these may put children at risk for obesity and chronic health problems such as diabetes or coronary artery disease. They conclude by saying a healthy school food environment can reduce these dietary risks. Implementing healthier drink options into Compass vending machines is a step in the right direction to help nutrition of students. So students are kind of like toddlers. If you give them options, they are likely to be content with what they are giving. When given students the option to choose between the two types of beverages, you create an equal playing ground for everyone to get what they want. Jessica Brusso explains that increasing the number of healthy options available will make it more likely students will be able to find something nutritious they like to eat. And furthermore, one middle school in San Francisco, California, conducted a survey to determine which healthier foods students would like to see on the menu and used this information to implement school lunch changes. As a result, lunch sales increased after the healthy foods were removed from the menu. The less healthy foods were removed. When you give students the options to choose from, it allows for healthier options as well as being cost effective, as sales stay the same or improve because now the kids who want healthier drinks can now buy them. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Howard. The chair would like to recognize Representative Browning to speak on the bill. Granted. Representative Browning, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, for this option, I am very for this bill. There are a lot of people who, unfortunately, they go to Winco to get their healthy drinks and their choices. Here, there's only pop and soda, and yes, although it is cheaper, it's more harming to the body and the mind, and I know that that sounds kind of unconventional, but being someone who is always constantly dehydrated, who never has a healthy option to drink anything but the Gatorade that's in there, and who really likes to stay focused when doing their homework, pop that's in the vending machines only harms me more. It makes my head spin, it makes me really tired. I feel sick after drinking it because it's not filling and it's not good for me. And I honestly think that having more options would make the school a lot better, because having healthier nutrients in your body helps people stay focused. It helps them have more energy. It helps their mind really work a lot better than when you're putting harmful chemicals into it, such as soda. And for the money cost of it, I actually did a little bit of research, and you can get Quest protein shakes at a 12-pack for $19.97, and by dividing the prices to the quantity, it's $1.66 per bottle. And to benefit and to get that money back, you can raise the price to $1.75, considering that the vending machines take orders anyway. And then you would be making a profit. It would be low, but it would add up the more you get. Another addition to this is there's 3 different flavors for just that shake. So there's vanilla, chocolate, and caramel, which will give people more options in that aspect as well. My point is that it's healthier, it gives you more nutrients, it nourishes your brain, helps you stay focused, gives you more energy. I know because I've had these when I had classes at CEI, and it really helped me pay attention. And I know that if you do research, you can find cheap prices. Like, this was 2 minutes of research to find all of this, and I already found a way to make profit and have choices for the school. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. There are no more planned speakers on this bill, so the chair would like to recognize Representative Meekum. Granted. Representative Meekum, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, so I just wanted to say on this bill, it is not school policy for what is in the vending machines. It is not district policy that is in the vending machines. It literally comes from the federal government, dictated by the USDA and the Board of Education. So even if we wanted to change something, it would have to abide by the safe snacks guidelines, which, we can't change unless we take on the literal federal government. I yield the rest of my time.
The chair would like to recognize Representative Fletcher. Never mind. The chair would like to recognize Representative Sutton. Granted.
Okay, what's the total time left?
Representative Sutton, you have 3 minutes.
Now, while this bill sounds great, and I would love to have additional energy drinks and protein smoothies and things like that, I was in the Food Service Committee, and while we were doing research for this bill, it just seems like a pipe dream. There's no real way, save going up against the actual government, to change these. Some other things that would make this more difficult is that nutritional smoothies have a lot of sugar, and the Safe Foods, the one that was previously mentioned, guidelines do not allow a lot of sugar in drinks. Caffeinated drinks are also an issue, and those will most definitely not be allowed in the vending machines. Also, drinks such as smoothies often have limited expiration dates, and so that makes their shelf life less long, which may require a refrigerated vending machine, which would likely be more expensive. So while this would be a great idea in theory, I doubt that it will go through in practice. Thank you for this. Yep, I yield the rest of my time.
All right. The chair recognizes Representative Snyder. It has been motioned and seconded that we table HR 107. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? It passes. We will table this bill for now. The chair recognizes Representative Snyder.
Discuss bill number 69.
Quit it! Damn. All right, it has been motioned and seconded that we talk about HR 69. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Aye. By a show of hands, who's in favor of talking about it? All opposed? Fine. It passes, but we've been talking about HR 69.
Motion to amend bill number 69.
What's the amendment?
Amend page 1, lines 5 through 13 to be changed to all classrooms where the facilitators that normally occupy them volunteer and consent to them being used.
Can you bring it up onto the screen?
Yeah, and will you just like copy paste that into Google Doc or something and send it to me and I can pop it up on the screen here?
Into the bill document or just on a separate document?
Just a document or throw it into an email really quick.
Yep. I shared it with you.
Okay.
You said which lines?
Lines 5 through 13. So,
So it would be page 1, lines 5 through 13? Under definitions.
yeah. Where it defines which class.
Okay. So the bill currently reads, classrooms will from this point on include the auditorium, the gymnasium, room 207, room 204, all conference rooms, room 303, 305, 307, and 309. And you would like to strike the list of classrooms and instead put at the discretion of the teacher in charge of said classroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Did we get that in exact writing? That would be on the last bill. Oh.
On page
One. Page one, like, it's the definition.
that bulleted list would be what you are excluding.
Also, the classroom from discipline fund will include. So it's lines 4 through 13.
No, I thought, well, I don't know.
That, I mean, that wouldn't make sense in the context of the bill.
Okay.
No,
Just, it's 4. I mean, those would be lines through 4.
So it's just striking those, just putting in. So, yeah, you'll need to vote on it, but I'm just gonna.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the proposed amendment.
Um,
So I'll do it this way, and then I'll give it to you. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, and then
it's not seconded, so, but, thank you. Yeah, they're cutting out that part and changing it to where that would be at the discretion of the teachers controlling the classrooms. Okay, please follow procedure. It has been motioned and seconded that we amend HR 69, lines 5 through 13. All in favor? All opposed? It passes. The chair recognizes Representative Harmon. All in favor of a 5-minute, sorry. It has been motioned and seconded that we adjourn for a 5-minute caucus. All in favor? All opposed? All right, see you in 5 minutes.
On behalf of myself and Representative Meekum, I'd like to propose that we discuss the speakers and then vote so that we can get all of our viewpoints in and, again, not have to make up the grade. All right, so I'll start then. Imagine you're a sophomore. You just got your driver's license and it's your first day driving to school all on your own. You end up hitting every red light, which happens, and so you're running a little bit late, and you're coming in from the north side of the building, which is that direction, and so you decide to park in that parking lot with the intention to run in the doors and get to your class on time. You run up to the doors, and it turns out they're locked. So you have to run around the school to the main entrance and then run through the school to get to your class. You end up being late and are marked tardy, all because of the doors to the parking lot are locked. I support this bill not only because it fixes this situation, but it also prevents future of similar situations. It just makes sense that the doors to one of the main parking lots is unlocked through the school day. And as well as other benefits from this bill, such as opening up more classrooms for students to work and I guess mess around in. For better collaboration, and personally, I like a nice quiet room where it's only me and maybe my group to work and get our project done. I find it difficult to work in the cyber cafe because it's loud and disruptive, and the AAC feels more of a tutoring center rather than a personal workspace. I hope you guys agree with voting for this bill, and I rest my time. Thank you, Speaker.
Did you want to reserve or yield your time?
Reserve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The House recognizes Representative Meekum to speak on the bill. Representative Meekum, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I just wanted to start off by saying I don't think we should have rushed amendments just yet, but hey, that's just me. Okay. This bill, while it stands, has received great approval by both parties. So there's really no reason for me to rehash the old arguments, but for sake of time and for the sake of my grade, I will. Okay, but I propose an amendment to Section 4, line 31, to include the exemption clause. I believe that an exemption clause would cover certain areas that the students do not need to access on the regular, but they can if they want to, for whatever strange reason. I will read out my suggestions and hopefully move to make an amendment at the end of my time. Section 4 would now read, certain classrooms such as, certain classrooms should remain inaccessible unless granted permission directly by the facilitator that regularly uses that room. This would include, but is not limited to, the gym, the weight room, the custodial offices, storage rooms, and any other room that has a privacy or liability concern. Representative Tapia Griffith, I can't talk, suggested that the weight room has too many liability concerns to be unlocked 24/7. Which is a fair point to be made because there's plenty of dangerous equipment in that room that little freshmen shouldn't be allowed to play with on their off hours. Allowing meeting groups for students would free up the hallways and eliminate noise for other classes to potentially hear. Interruptions can be avoided by allowing students more workspaces by opening up each conference room or unused classrooms and other proposed areas. Opening doors to the front of campus, not front, but parking lot doors, like Representative Liddell pointed out, would make entering the building a lot easier so you don't have to walk around the entire building just to get in. I believe that's a fair point. I feel like the amendment proposed by Representative Snyder adds stability to this bill and provides favorability, but unrestricted access sounds like great liability. I can't talk, I'm sorry. So that amendment would lead to a better future for this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Mitchell. It has been motioned and seconded that we vote on HR 69. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We will begin voting.
I did a vocal count, and it sounded like a vast majority agreed. It was like 75%. Okay, so that's fine. What?
No. Representative Bentley.
Aye.
Representative Brown. Representative Browning. Representative Chadwick. Representative Covert. Representative Cox. Representative Finnegan. Representative Fletcher. Representative Francis. Representative French. Aye. Representative Goodwin. Representative Hadlock. Representative Harmon. Representative Hayes. Representative Howard. Representative Huerta. Representative Jacobson. Representative Jacobson. Representative Jennings. Representative Jensen. Representative Jones. Representative Colcorth. Representative Cry. Representative Liddell.
Aye.
Representative Little. Representative Markwood. Representative McNeil. Representative Meekum. Representative Merrill. Representative Mitchell. Representative Nelson. Representative Oulette. Representative Perez. Representative Rolston. Representative Royce. Representative Shoneman. Representative Seabury. Representative Slight. Representative Snyder. Representative Stirk. Representative Sutton. Representative Tapia Griffith. Representative Thompson. Representative Uhak. Representative Wiffle. Representative Covert.
How many people in the class? Roll.
Well, anyway. The bill passes unanimously with 5 abstaining. Yeah, I know. Okay. The chair recognizes Representative Rolston. It has been motioned and seconded that the House discuss HR 161. 131, I apologize. All in favor? All opposed? It passes. We will begin discussion on HR 131.
Let me find that real fast.
HR 131 has 10 minutes total time speaking and 3 minutes per speaker. The chair would like to recognize Representative Jacobson to speak on the bill.
You already have that.
I recognize you. Representative Jacobson, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before the Compass graduates of 2020 left our school, they established a legacy, both in the passed and unpassed bills written in Congress. I'm positive that our forerunners never expected that when their Echo accounts were deleted, their influence would go with it. From the massive collection of bills written last year, only 3 documents remain, none of which are ratified. This means that every single law passed in 2020 has been erased from Compass history as we know it. In America's Congress, the United States Code and National Archives contains all federal laws within an official codification system. Without this documentation, a majority of the 30,000 statutes enacted since 1789 would be at risk of being forgotten, thereby going unenforced. This same procedure is what inspired the creation of Bill H.R. 131, Compass Congress Law Database Act of 2021. Within the proposal, it calls for a website to be created where previous and upcoming legislation will be stored by our overseeing government facilitators, who have already confirmed their willingness to participate. Fellow representatives, a bill database is the only means by which our service in this Congress will not be in vain. If we do not protect the laws that future years will inherit, why are we even in this room? Why are we even in this class? And why have we wasted our time writing, debating, and passing legislation that will evaporate once we are gone? I implore you to recognize that without archives, a government is worthless. Law that is not documented cannot be preserved. Law that is not preserved cannot be followed. And law that cannot be followed is anarchy. A lawless compass is as bitter as it is ironic. May our efforts guide and improve our forthcoming students instead of fading into oblivion once we are handed our diplomas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve the balance of my time.
Representative Jacobson, you have 1 minute and 7 seconds left. Thank you.
I said 1:37, right?
Okay. The chair recognizes Representative Browning. Granted. Representative Browning, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I fully support this bill. What?
Use the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I fully agree with this bill. I think because we have a lot of alumni that watch this. I'm sure there's like 3 watching right now. And knowing that their work is not recognized in this classroom or even in this school, or hardly they remember because they have nothing to look back on. We are trying so hard to pass all of these bills, like the cyber cafe or the vending machine, or this bill specifically, and there's no evidence of maybe they were already passed, but none of us remember. It is only fair to have a website to recognize every bill that has been made, is going to be made, and possible changes that future Govlish students can make in the future. I say that there's really no harm in having a website or a link where everyone can go and look at what's already done. It takes 5 minutes to make, it takes hardly any work to do and recognize, and it would do no harm passing this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Finnegan. Granted. Representative Finnegan, you have 3 minutes to speak.
All right, so I know that all of us, well, not all of us, but many of us have been here for a year or more, and I have never actually seen a Govlish students bill enacted. Like, I know that it's happened, and I know that almost every year we've done this exact project, but I've never personally seen any of their bills passed or enforced. And I'm sure that it's never happened that not a single bill has been passed. I'm not guaranteeing that because I've never been a senior before, obviously, but I'm pretty confident that there has never been a year that not a single bill has been passed. So I believe that passing this bill will allow us to leave a legacy not only for ourselves, but for the future students of Compass. And I don't believe the website will cause any strife for any of the students or the facilitators that are in charge of organizing it and helping with it. So I feel like it would just be a great idea overall. Thank you, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Finnegan. The chair recognizes Representative Sutton. Granted. Representative Sutton, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My one and only concern with this bill is that future classes, rather than creating their own bills, would take a bill that is far enough back that the teachers would not remember and take that and use it rather than creating their own. I implore you to consider this when making your decisions. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Cry. Granted. Representative Cry, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So while yes, it might be possible that if future students look far back enough and create a bill that's not entirely their own, I think that's kind of the point of even having an archive, is that maybe, who knows, some students might know future alumni and can create a bill that might have been long forgotten. But if we have archives of this, this isn't something only the students can see, the facilitators of this class could see that as well. So I think by having this archive, we can also prevent that potential of future plagiarism of bills that have been long forgotten already. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Cry. The chair recognizes Representative Slight.
A motion to bring House Resolution 232 to a vote. 131.
It's a bill anyway, isn't it? All right, it has been motioned and seconded that we bring HR 131 to a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, roll call. Representative Bentley. Aye. Representative Brown. Representative Browning. Aye. Representative Chadwick. Aye. Representative Covert. Representative Cox. Representative Finnegan. Aye. Representative Fletcher. Aye. Representative Francis. Aye. Representative French. Aye. Representative Goodwin. Representative Hadlock. Representative Harmon. Aye. Representative Hayes. Aye. Representative Howard. Aye. Representative Huerta. Representative Jacobson Lilly. Representative Catrice Jacobson. Representative Jennings, sorry. Representative Jensen. Representative Jones. Representative Colcourt. Representative Cry. Representative Liddell.
Aye.
Representative Little. Representative Marquette. Representative McNeil. Representative Meekum. Representative Merrill. Representative Mitchell. Representative Nelson. Representative Olet. Representative Perez. Representative Rolston. Representative Royce. Representative Shoneman. Representative Seabury. Representative Slight. Representative Snyder. Representative Stark. Representative Sutton. Representative Tevye Griffith. Representative Thompson. Representative Uhak. Representative Whipple. It passes unanimously. The chair recognizes Representative Mitchell. That's 204. Okay. It has been motioned and seconded that the House of Representatives discuss House Resolution 204, integration and communication between grade levels. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. It passes. We will begin discussion. The chair would like to recognize Representative Finnegan. 20 minutes, 4 minutes per speaker. Representative Finnegan, you have 4 minutes to speak.
All right, so my resolution, the purpose of that was to recognize the need to increase the integration and communication both between grade levels and between the students and the facilitators. Our student body is what really makes our school. Our school strives to provide a safe, diverse environment for our students, and students should feel comfortable and equal to their facilitators in order to truly thrive. That is what I was promised when I came here as a freshman, is that I would be equal to my facilitators. I remember sitting in this exact auditorium having a discussion with a sophomore and a junior that went here, and one of them was wearing sweatpants and a tank top, and the other one was in a suit because they were dressed for the occasion that they had for the day. And I remember them talking to me about how they were able to go and sit with their facilitators and discuss anything they felt like they needed to, and that they were always able to reach out to an upperclassman or a lowerclassman if they needed help with anything. So I feel like we should allow more out-of-class activities, both between grade levels and as well with our facilitators. I know that health regulations right now are kind of strict, and so it's difficult to do those things, so I just promote that we do that as soon as we can. We've previously had assemblies where there's a slideshow up and there's questions about facilitators that me personally, I probably knew maybe 2 of the questions out of the 30 that were presented, because I have never really had an opportunity to get to know those things about facilitators. So it'd be really great to have those opportunities. So specifically in the bill, it proposes that we have the chance to understand facilitators on a more personal level, including their hobbies, stories about them, and other such information. I know that many students have found a facilitator that they relate to in one way or another, and I've seen many students gain friendships with their facilitators. In fact, just last week, I recall Mr. Durfee stating that some of his closest friends were previous students who had graduated from here who are in their mid-20s. I just believe that we should have more of an opportunity to do this in future years as well as currently, and I feel like having a resolution just to promote that would be really useful. So with this evidence, I'm just asking you as my fellow representatives to support this resolution and help us pass it to better our school. Thank you, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. The chair would like to recognize Representative Lily Jacobson to speak on the bill.
You already have it.
Representative Jacobson, you have 4 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I realized since freshman year that I haven't seen like a whole lot of people in the bullpen area, which is like the main area where we're allowed to talk to our facilitators and get to know them and ask questions whenever we want. But I noticed that since most people haven't been doing that, a lot of people have started, I don't want to say complaining, but basically complaining that they email teachers and the teachers don't respond within a reasonable time, and then before you know it, the due date's already passed, and you kind of have to either redo the project or just hope that your grade is good enough. But by passing this bill, students will be able to better communicate with facilitators. So there'll be more opportunities for students to meet with facilitators and discuss grades and assignments. But not just in class, but outside of class too, as like work and study sessions, so you can get more help. And students will be able to receive responses within 24 hours of that email, unless a facilitator has like a kid or some other, like they're going out of town or other reasons that should be stated otherwise. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Cry to speak on the bill. Or resolution, I apologize. Representative Cry, you have 4 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, as a high school, Compass Academy has class levels like any other high school: freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And of course, as many of my colleagues could agree, in the 4 years that we have attended this school, there are many things that set us apart from the rest of our neighboring schools, such as IF and Skyline. One of these things is communication. Due to our smaller size, it's easy to communicate with our facilitators and colleagues. We even have classes and projects that integrate several subjects, skills, and the main point of this resolution, differing classes. But there are things to improve, as evidenced by this resolution. Compass Academy's greater ability for communication between classes and facilitators is fantastic, but not fully realized and developed. Should this resolution be resolved, it will help in the resolvement of a few issues in the way of interclass and facilitator communication. In lines 2 and 3, Resolution 204, quote, encourages that students shall have more opportunity to associate with facilitators, end quote. Encouraging more after-school activities, such as clubs, will help students get to know their facilitators better, encouraging communication both leisurely and professionally. Furthermore, encouraging students to utilize their free hours effectively and Furthermore, encouraging students to utilize their free hours effectively and encouraging facilitators to utilize digital communication more frequently will further promote communication between students and facilitators. To allow this, Resolution 204 lists a plan for this in stating, quote, there shall be more opportunity for students to meet with facilitators, end quote, in lines 12 and 13. And that, quote, students shall be able to receive responses to emails within 24 hours unless the facilitator has stated a reason otherwise, end quote, in lines 16 through 18. In lines 19 and 20, Resolution 204, quote, affirms that the integration between grade levels needs to be increased, end quote. By introducing more extracurricular activities aside from electives, for example, more opportunities for school-wide projects and clubs, it can be expected to see more interclass interaction. Last Wednesday, Representative Slight introduced and discussed a system that provides a great example of an opportunity for more interclass interaction. Her family system involved the encouragement of students and facilitators with common interests to come together to form a family, a support group including students from every class and a supervising facilitator where underclassmen can get to learn more about their facilitators and the upperclassmen. By recognizing the importance of interclass involvement and by providing opportunities like Representative Slight's proposed family system, Compass Academy can expect, as Resolution 204 states, lowerclassmen shall feel more comfortable approaching upperclassmen and should be seen freely conversing or working together. Finally, Resolution 204, quote, declares, in lines 28 through 31, that Compass Academy as a whole, including students, facilitators, and other staff, shall encourage integration and communication within the school for the continuation of its existence, end quote. In resolving Resolution 204, we as a student body and as a school can recognize the importance of communication between all of our students and all of our staff. We have a good system of communication going now, but we can do even better. All we need to do is recognize that we can do better and how we'll do better in order to maintain the communication that is an integral part of this school. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Cry. The chair recognizes Representative Bentley to speak on the bill. Representative Bentley, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're welcome.
Though I recognize the importance of integration and communication in our school, I must point out the glaring and obvious errors in this bill. Firstly, I would like to ask the question, who is in charge? Who facilitates all of these activities? If the whole premise of this bill is to regain this lost connection between the grade levels and facilitators through activities and clubs, who is in charge of these activities and who incentivizes them to be done? It is never stated within the bill. Secondly, the bill says that there ought to be more work and study sessions. Now, this frustrates me, I'll be frank with it, because in asking for more study sessions and more time to meet with teachers, it is asking for more time. And just consider for a moment that most schools have much, much less study time than us at Compass Academy. Asking for more is, frankly, it's greedy, and it just shows a sign of bad time management among our students. Just be grateful for what you have. Thirdly, facilitators are expected, according to this resolution, to respond to emails within 24 hours, and this falls upon the facilitator. Many facilitators have different reasons for being slow, and yes, though it is very much inconvenient to students, it's much more complicated and nuanced than just saying you have to respond in 24 hours in a resolution. And thirdly, going back to the topic of clubs, there are several other bills, both in the House and in the Senate, which are covering the creation and dedication of clubs, and which kind of renders this resolution meaningless and in vain. Thank you, Speaker. I reserve the rest of my time.
Thank you, Representative Bentley. The chair recognizes Representative Snyder. Permission denied. The chair recognizes Representative Perez to speak on the bill. Representative Perez, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speakerman. Recognizing that there is a need to increase the communication and integration between grade levels and facilitators is important because it will encourage students and let them have more opportunities to help them from facilitators and communicate with upperclassmen. The bill's purpose is to find ways to essentially encourage campus culture. What separates us from many schools is the integration and relations the facilitators and students have. This year has been hard for some of us to get to know the lower classmen and vice versa. Not only that, but it has been hard on facilitators not being able to teach how they were used to. The culture is simply not the same. We should encourage integration by holding events for all students and facilitators and creating safe and effective ways to give people these opportunities, while also making these events interesting for students and facilitators. The bill states that we could do this by creating clubs and managing to create safe school-wide projects tied between grade levels and not to mention holding organized events. I understand that we are all still in a pandemic and people have health concerns along with regulations limiting people in rooms all within reason. This may be the reason why someone would not like to participate along with just plain not wanting to do it. This bill would be something that is encouraged but not, resolution should be encouraged but not forced. People should be able to choose who they want to communicate with safely, and safety precautions should be held to high standards. This bill could also help campus morale. I have seen plenty of facilitators and students really stressed due to the situations of the school year, and it seems as though at a time we're supposed to be apart from each other, this is a time to reach out and get help, whether it comes from school assignments or just by communicative purposes. What better way to do that than host interactive and interesting events where students and facilitators can have fun and get to know each other while at the same time being able to get the help they need. Thank you, Mr. Speakerman. I reserve my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Snyder. Granted. Representative Snyder, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to reference something that Representative Bentley had mentioned, where the work and study sessions would be asking for more time. However, I don't believe that it is asking for more time. It's actually just asking to use existing time, such as collaboration hours, to get to interact with their facilitators more outside of class, while also improving students' understanding in class. So I don't believe it's actually asking for more time, just using the time that we already have more effectively. Thank you, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Representative Slate.
Motion to bring House Resolution, whatever this is.
204.
201, vote.
204.
204. Great.
It has been motioned and seconded that we vote on House Resolution 204. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, it passes. Let's get roll call going. Representative Bentley.
Nay.
Representative Brown. Representative Browning. Representative Chadwick. Representative Covert. Representative Cox. Representative Finnegan. Representative Fletcher. Representative Francis. Representative French. Nay. Representative Goodwin. Representative Hadlock. Representative Harmon. Representative Hayes. Representative Howard. Representative Puerta. Representative Lily Jacobson. Representative Patrice Jacobson. Representative Jennings. Representative Jennings. Representative Jensen. Representative Jones. Representative Colcorf. Representative Cry. Representative Ladow.
Aye.
Representative Little. Representative Marquardt. Representative McNeil. Representative Meekum. Representative Merrill. Representative Mitchell. Representative Nelson. Representative Olet? Representative Perez? Representative Rolston? Representative Royce? Representative Shoneman? Representative Seabury? Representative Slight? Representative Snyder? Representative Stirk? Representative Sutton? Representative Tapia Griffith? Representative Thompson? Representative Uhak? Representative Whipple? Give me a minute. The resolution passes 24-13 with 2 abstaining. The chair recognizes Representative Sutton.
Motion to discuss Bill 119.
It has been motioned.
Hold on 1 second.
24-13, 2 abstain.
Mr. Derby, do we want to?
Yeah, so,
20 minutes.
there's at least one bill, yours, right, that the House Rules Committee still needs to meet on.
And also, we have some Senate bills that have been passed, they could go ahead and look rules on.
Yeah. So, we kind
Well, I guess they have to go to committee here, so.
Oh, yep. Anyways, we wanted to just end a tiny bit early, so that the House Rules Committee could meet and get that done. What time is it?
It is 2:40.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll let you adjourn here in a second, and that will give the Rules Committee just a quick second to get some rules on some stuff. So we actually won't see you guys again for a week, because Monday is a day off for you guys. Durfee and I still have to work, but you guys have the day off. So here's Friday assignment for this week. There's going to be some